So in today's video, I'll let you how you can use Gridspace AI voice agent Grace with the email marketing platform Mailchimp. Now Mailchimp is used by many businesses to manage their email lists or newsletters. So today we'll just look at a fictional company we'll call InsightBright, which provides business analytics for companies. Now today we have a subscriber who unsubscribed to their newsletter, and what Grace will do is she will call up the unsubscriber with a delay, and then she'll ask him a quick question about why they unsubscribed, and then she'll try to upsell them into like, hey, okay, I don't see you don't want the daily one, but maybe you want the monthly one. Now the flow here is that I'll play the role of the person who's unsubscribed from their newsletter, and this will trigger automation, which will then, with 1 hour delay, trigger an outbound flow in Grace, which will then call me up and ask me a few questions.
Hi, John. This is Grace, your virtual assistant at InsightBridge. I noticed you recently unsubscribed from our product update email, and that's absolutely okay. We respect your preferences. I'm just reaching out to see if you'd be open to sharing a little feedback. It'll take less than 30 seconds and helps us improve how we communicate with users like you. Was there a particular reason you unsubscribed? For example, were the emails not relevant to your business goals, too frequent, or something else entirely?
Yeah, they were a bit too frequent.
Thank you for that. One last quick thing. Would you be interested in receiving only high-level monthly insights instead of every other day product update?
Yeah, sure. That could be better actually.
Great. I will sign you up for our monthly newsletter. Thanks so much, John. Your feedback is really appreciated. If you ever want to change your preferences, you can visit InsightBridge IO Preferences. Have a great day.
As she saw, she was able to collect some feedback from me about why I unsubscribed, and then able to ask me if I would like to join their monthly newsletter instead. And then if yes, in this case, you will then in the background sign me up for the monthly newsletter directly in Mailchimp. Now I'll go over the setup and show you how we have done this. So here we are inside our Gridspace dashboard, and you can see here we are inside our playbooks. This is a script of the whole flow. Now for this whole setup, we're using Zapier as the automation. When a person unsubscribes, Zapier then sends details to Gridspace, triggers an outbound flow, and this is the flow that is triggered. So here we have our greetings with the customized message with their name. This we got from Zapier or Mailchimp again. And then we then go into the questionnaire where we can then ask for these form fields. We can ask them some questions. You can add as many questions as you would like. You can also make them optional. They don't have to answer them if they don't like. And then you can also choose the type of information you're collecting. In this case, we're collecting a free response because it's a questionnaire. You can also choose more like specific information, if you're collecting dates, numbers, addresses, etc. And then we're saving this in these tags. And then here we're asking them if they would like to sign up to the monthly newsletter instead. Now in our case, it was a yes, let's sign up. And here in the next node right here, you can see a few things. You can see here that we're running a connector, which is basically a script we set up that will send out a webhook to Zapier again, which will then sign up the person to the monthly newsletter. So if you go into, I'll show you now, I'll go into the connectors now. Here is the connector we're using. This is the connector sections. And this is a pre-made connector, so you don't need to do code anything. It's all set up for you. And as you can see here, we are using it as a post request. And this is the URL for Zapier webhook. I'll show you a bit later how to find this. And then here, as you can see the information, we're sending a JSON body out to Zapier. And we are using these tags. Now, these are tags we already got from Zapier previously. We're just using them again to then sign the person up to the monthly newsletter. So here we have basically the key is called, and then here's the tag we're using. So this is the tag. You need to have a hashtag and an email. This is basically information from the playbooks. We're using that dynamically. So to be able to use those, you need to have the matching tag in here with the hashtag in front. And then this is the connector which is running. I'll go back to the playbooks. And then, as you can see here, we then sign them up, and then here we have our outro script right here using the name again. Thank you so much, John. And then also this is an end outcome node. So here's an outcome page. So this basically will end the script right here. Now to quickly show our Zapier setup, which basically is the middleware or the automation between Mailchimp and Gridspace. And here we have two zaps running. So the first one is basically the one being triggered when a person unsubscribes from a newsletter. So here we have our Mailchimp node, firstly. This will be a trigger. And then trigger event is new unsubscriber. And then we configure it to which audience we are connected to our account there, which is the InsightBright audience. And then, so once someone unsubscribes, we then filter, which is because we first check if they have a phone number existing. We don't want to run this if they don't have a phone number in their profile. If yes, if they have a phone number, which is basically this is one of the fields we chosen from Mailchimp. Yes, checking basically this field right here, and then if they have a phone number exists, then it will continue. If not, then it won't. So and then we have our delay node, because we don't want to call them immediately. We want to wait an hour. You can do a day or how much you would like, but here we have for 1 hour. And then after the delay, we then go into our custom request or webhook request to Gridspace, which will then trigger the outbound flow. This is a custom webhook request in Zapier. And if you configure it, you can see here we have it's a post request. This is our endpoint in Gridspace. And if you would like to know where to find this, you can go into the documentation. This is docs.gridspace.com and search for start outbound session. And this is the endpoint we're using. You can find more information about this here. And then here we have our data, which is basically, you can also find how to set this up in this endpoint information. But just to quickly go over the data with you, we have our inlet node ID, which is the ID of the call flow or what we're going to trigger inside Grace. So if you go back to our Gridspace dashboard, and you can see we are inside the call flows, and this is basically the call flow which will triggered once this automation runs. And how to find the ID of this inlet, we just can match, just remember this phone number, and then we go into our applications inside our Gridspace dashboard, and you can see we can match, this is the phone number from here. So I'll go in here, and then I can find the ID here in this string right here. I can find this is the end ID. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to use this ID right here. So this will be the call flow, which will run when this is triggered. And then here we are running some tags. So how we're using the tags here is first we're naming the tags with name and email. And then afterwards we're then putting in the information from Mailchimp. And we're basically just adding here, we can add any information. And here you just pick out the information you would like from the Mailchimp webhook. We have the callback info, which is important because we need a phone number to call up. And this is the phone number of the person who unsubscribed. And then here at the end, we also have, of course, our basic authentication. Is we need to authenticate us to Gridspace to be able to trigger from our account. And this is basically, you put it right there. You put your account ID here with this divider in between, and then you put your secret key. Now, how to find this in your account ID and your secret key together, is if you go into your account info inside the Gridspace dashboard. You can see here, you can find your account ID and secret key. Now, these you just copy into this basic auth right here, like so in this format. And then here we have headers, which is a content type application JSON. Now, lastly, this is our second step or automation. And this is what runs, in the playbook. Remember, we have the connector, which this is what's being run after this is triggered. So this is sending out the connector, and then this triggering this webhook. Basically, this is the link. You can find it here. This is the link to our webhook, which is Zapier is catching. And it's catching all the information we got from Mailchimp again. And then here we have our Mailchimp node. And then we are connected this to our Mailchimp account. And the action here is we're adding or updating a subscriber. And we're adding them to our mail list. And here you can see we are putting in their information dynamically from our webhook. So here we are creating or adding them to the monthly newsletter. And that was how you create an outbound follow-up voice agent for Mailchimp using Gridspace's AI voice agent, Grace. Now, if you have any questions about this flow, feel free to leave a comment below and answer any questions you have there. And if you'd like to see more demos like this, you can go on the website, gridspace.com, to see Grace in more scenarios. All right, I hope this video was helpful for you, and thank you for watching.